way to the podcast from Lindell, Texas. Brent Gonzo Goose Fowler.
Hear what the goose is honking. Honk!
His tag team partner from Brooklyn, New York, Crazy Chris Ventura.
Brooklyn, we're bringing the hood to you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 123 Podcast. We've got not one, not two, but three wrestling events to talk about tonight. We've even got Sting, the figure.
Can't do it too loudly because the dogs got riled up the last time.
Yeah, you tried it right before we started recording. And hey, wait a minute, Brent, they can see us.
Oh no!
Oh my God, I'm underdressed. I've no sleeves.
I don't know.
I guess I was going to do an update for this channel this week, and I didn't get the chance to do it because there's an update for the update, and that's coming later on in the week. But anyway, we got a Skype video recording program.
Yes, we
so not only this show, but any other show from now on that we do, even off live, is going to have video. And the even better news is Zone 4. The main show with the main cast is also going into a video format. So you must be excited, Brant.
I'm very excited. I think it's going to be cool. I know you guys that watch YouTube expect to see videos most of the time. So we thought we would try to accommodate you guys and see how this goes. So hopefully you guys like it.
Yeah, I wanted to do this. I saw a podcast doing this a long time ago. I guess this is a little bit of an intro this time for this show since it's the first one that we're doing like this. But I saw a lot of people that do morning streams and stuff like that. They have the side-by-side. I know my good friend Justin, who's waiting for us to talk about this week's wrestling, and he wanted us to talk about what happened on Raw because we're recording this late. But unfortunately, Justin, next episode, I've got stuff I definitely want to talk about when it comes to Paige. But Brant didn't see Raw yet, so spoiler out for that. This week we're talking about last week's Raw, last week's SmackDown, and of course Night of Champions. But Justin, you definitely inspired the whole side-by-side also because I saw you do it on your website in comicbook.com. Great website, by the way. And I said we definitely had to do it for this show.
Yeah.
So how are you, Brant? No, I was going to say, so how are you, Brant, since that's how we normally start the show when I do the intro or when you do the intro.
I'm good. I'm paranoid now because people can see me. I'm not used to podcasting with people seeing me. It's like they're gonna see all my secrets, all my smirks and sneers and all the stuff I do when you don't see me. No, seriously, I'm good. I'm excited about it. Lots to talk about, definitely. Yeah. And we'll see.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say we'll see how we did on our predictions. But go ahead.
I just want to say I wanted to ask one thing before we get into it. Raw, SmackDown, Night of Champions. How would you rate this last week?
Out of what? Like on a scale of what?
No, not even on a scale. Just would you say it was a really good week? Was it an okay week? Was it a bad week? And you have to include the pay-per-view.
Okay, I think including the pay-per-view, it was kind of an up and down week. I think it started on an up note, kind of went a little average, and then kind of ended with a little bit of predictability, and but I still thought it was good. So I thought I had a fun time. It wasn't like the best week in wrestling ever, though.
Right. All right. So then let's roll into Raw real quick. The one thing I'm going to say in advance is I missed the last match. I missed SmackDown, too, but we'll get into SmackDown when we get into it. I missed a lot.
This is not turning out well.
But I didn't miss the pay-per-view. And, guys, next time there's a pay-per-view, if you want to follow me on Twitter, I was tweeting out pictures. No spoilers. I don't do spoilers on my tweets. I was just tweeting out the matches, and I was taking pictures of when they were together, like right before the beginning of the match. I had a blast doing it. Even though nobody was really talking back with me, it was a lot of fun. Just every match I would be like, click, who's going to win this? Click, oh, this is starting to look good. Or click, I had fun. So if you guys like it, I'm not doing spoilers, though. So if you'd like to check out my Twitter, I had a blast doing it. I'm sorry, I was really having fun, even though nobody was answering.
Hey, that's awesome, though. That's cool. Everybody can look forward to that every pay-per-view.
So we opened up with, obviously now, this Monday Raw, there were two matches, and I don't even know why they wasted their time doing this, Brent. It was so annoying. There is news. We're going to save it for the end because it has stuff to do with Night of Champions.
Yeah.
So we're going to save the news for the end of the show. So we're going into Raw. And the two matches that were supposed to be like, oh my God, we could see new champions. New Day and primetime players, Charlotte versus Nikki.
Right.
Nothing happened. Nothing changed hands. I forgot the golden rule with wrestling. Belts, especially tag belts and certain other belts, like major championships, are not allowed to change hands during Raw and SmackDown.
That's not necessarily true. I think typically you're right, though. Typically, especially right before a pay-per-view.
You're thinking about it, aren't you?
No, I'm talking to you. Can you not hear me?
No, I heard core pay-per-view, and you kind of went.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know. I guess our first glitch with the video.
Say it again, then?
I said that's not necessarily true, but I think overall you're probably right, but especially before a pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, see, I didn't hear that. I just heard. So, before a pay-per-view, I agree with you, especially when the matches are basically carded already.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But I was hoping that the record wouldn't be broken by Nikki. I was hoping that they were going to move the belt over to Charlotte and let her have a run and then her beat the record because she's the Nature Boy's daughter, you know?
Yeah, but we kind of knew that wasn't going to happen. They wanted AJ to lose that record. We talked about this on the prediction video. That was just, it was written in the stars. It would have been nice. It would have been wonderful if she had beaten her and she hadn't beaten the record. But, now somebody else can beat the record. So
that's true. It really annoyed me. That match out of the two annoyed me the most because I can't stand the Bellas when it comes to the wrestling part, at least. And the fact that the sister came in, and you made a joke, and I thought it was hilarious, too, where it's amazing. She was fresh.
Yeah.
And she got pinned 1, 2, 3.
Right. With a roll-up, no less. Not even a move, just a roll-up. That's pretty sad. Yeah.
Dumb.
That's the Bellas.
Yeah, that was so... And then she lost the belt, and it annoyed me. The primetime players in New Day, I was kind of hoping primetime players would lose because I wanted to see New Day versus the Dudleys. Right. So that match, I was hoping nothing would change hands. The Charlotte one, I had hopes.
I was kind of hoping it would turn into a triple threat for the pay-per-view, though. And we didn't get that.
That's
we got a straight-up match. But it's all right, though. That was a good match. It
was. What about you? What did you think about both matches? Like the tag match, since we really talked about not the tag match, the women's match, since we talked about the tag one.
The women's match, yeah, like I said, it went as expected. I think Charlotte, she showed that she belongs there. Mm-hmm. She did really good, and obviously they thought she won, but then Stephanie came out. But I love the stipulation that Stephanie added, though, because she didn't actually win the title. She was like, okay, Nikki, no matter whether you get pinned, disqualified, whatever, you lose the title if you lose a match.
Right. Doesn't matter even if your friends butt in, you're done. You
exactly.
Lose.
Yeah. I thought that was good.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was great. And the more I'm watching these wrestlers that came up from NXT, because I know that Charlotte came up from NXT, Paige came up from NXT, Becky came up from NXT. They really, when I was watching wrestling, it was very, divas were, oh, I broke it down. They didn't wrestle. There wasn't wrestling. I'm starting to see these newer wrestlers, even the other teams, Team Bad, everybody, they're wrestlers. Some of them are not even close. Thank God Summer Rae doesn't wrestle anymore. We have stuff about that later on. But no, I thought that I really think that the women's division is building up nice and strong, and I like that. I like that there's a variety, and the Divas Championship, it means something now. When it was the Women's Championship, especially when I was watching with the Trish Stratus, Tori Wilson things going on, it was like one of those belts where, it's just another belt. Just one of those belts that eventually change hands. Trish and Lita had that wrestling going.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. They were the only two that really did, though. Everybody else was just like your typical diva.
Yeah, exactly. That's what was bothering me. I don't know. I just really like it. I want to watch NXT. Every time I keep hearing about NXT, it's like I want to go back and I want to watch it. It's on Wednesday. You know, it's not like there's anything that I watch on Wednesdays. I mean, the live show's on Tuesday for Frontline. So I want to watch it. I really should because I hear a lot of really great things about NXT.
Yeah, absolutely. What little I've watched has been fantastic. We should both definitely be watching it.
Yeah. Speaking, since we're in the women's division, let's talk really quickly about Paige and Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
I don't know if that feud's going to go anywhere, especially after the pay-per-view, but I was right. Snooker's daughter, she's
You're so mean.
No, nobody's as ugly. No, don't worry, nobody's as ugly as Summer Rae. And I don't know how Barry puts those pictures up. And Barry, I know you can still edit. Even though there's videos, you can still edit pictures and stuff. He found the perfect pictures of Summer Rae. It proves my point 100%.
That's Barry. You're encouraging him, Barry. Stop doing that.
Just for that, when we get to the Summer Rae matches, I want you to put pictures of her up. Remember that, Barry. But what did you think about the Paige Sasha Banks match? I feel like they tried to make a feud, and they've done it for several weeks now with Paige, and I just don't feel like it's clicking because Paige doesn't seem. For me, I would think she would be chasing after the women's division belt. And I know what half of you are thinking, and that's next week's episode. You would think that she would be chasing after the women's division, or she'd be trying to figure out a way to get onto the Nikki, fighting the Bella twins, instead of focusing on Sasha Banks.
I'll slightly disagree with you there.
Okay.
Only because Sasha Banks is really good, and she's one of the. I mean, there's a reason they brought her up, and Paige is she's the first one to come up from NXT like that, and now Sasha, she's the boss. So I think it's a good feud. And they are both phenomenal wrestlers. If they could really get it off the ground, I think they were having a little bit of a problem getting it off the ground. Because it's the focus is on the Bellas and Charlotte and everything else going around that they're kind of thrown off to the side, and I don't think it should be like that. It's funny because in NXT what I've seen is that all the women are highlighted equally, and it's like they're on equal terms with the men, and we just don't see that on the main roster, sadly.
I would love, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think I talked about this on another show. Maybe I think it was last week's show, that I think the women's division, the way it's building up, and there's a lot of women, in the Divas division now, it would be cool, especially because they've got that triple, they've got those teams, those factions. I would love to see, I know you're not going to do a women's intercontinental, a women's cruise, all this other stuff, but I would love to see at least, you got the main championship, I would love to see a Divas tag championship, at least.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would. I think that would be awesome. It would give them something else to chase. It would give the other divas that aren't in the title hunt something to do that's not just repetitive matches every week.
Right.
I think
and you got the Bella Twins, you've got Team Bad, that they click together, two of them, and you could even do what New Day does. There's three of them, but they alternate with the belts.
Yeah, exactly. Then you could eventually bring up some of those other NXT ladies. You don't have to have them on every show. You could put some of them on SmackDown. Kind of space it out like that. I think it would work really well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We had, how many, not to go into next Raw, I'm sorry again, I'm going into next Raw, but they had 2 or 3 women's matches on Raw.
Really?
I think it was 2. I could be wrong, I think it was 2. If I'm not, maybe 1, I don't know. I feel like I've seen more than one women's match on several different occasions, though.
Yeah.
So, you could do 2 matches in a week, maybe even 3, especially because I feel like we're seeing a lot of the wrestlers over and over and over and over again, and it's pushing all the other wrestlers out. I can't talk about it because it was next Raw. But there is a female wrestler that was mentioned. She's and Paige is do you even work here anymore? And she actually ends up showing up. It was this past Raw. There were 2 matches. That's right.
Okay.
So,
No more spoilers for next Raw.
I'm trying. It's so hard. See, this is why we can't record this after Raw, because
Yeah, I know.
I've got that in my mind now a little bit, and I ignored it on purpose.
Yeah, we'll have to do better when Hell in a Cell comes around.
Well, it's not your fault as much as it is my fault also. It's just been a crazy weekend in general.
For both of us, yeah. It didn't work out to do it before today, so.
And we were going to have a guest on, and unfortunately we're recording when the guest can't make it, so hopefully by the next pay-per-view we'll have that person on.
Yeah.
But anyway, is there anything that stood out to you from Raw?
I'm trying to. I think the main event, we had Sting wrestling his first match on Raw ever, and that was kind of awesome. He fought Big Show, who they kind of played up the history between them and WCW, and then it turns into a tag match where you have John Cena and Sting teaming together, which I thought was really awesome. Whether you like either one of those guys or not, I think you just have to admit how iconic that is for these two guys to be on a team together in the ring. It was kind of an epic feeling. It was a nice lead into the pay-per-view.
Oh, absolutely. Would you like to pop in for the pay-per-view?
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes,
Recording. Good, recording. We're recording. Okay. We have a special guest coming into the cast. I'll give you however long you need. Don't worry.
An ethereal voice from the
lights turn off. Mike, turn my light off a minute. Turn the light off. Now turn it back on. There, the mysterious guest will be coming soon. Okay, go. We're going to continue.
I was done.
No, I agree with you. I feel like the rest of Raw really didn't matter. You had John Cena and Sheamus. You had the Wyatt family on the Miz show, which was stupid on the Miz's part, in my opinion. But
yeah.
I wish I could have seen the Sting match. I feel horrible that I missed out on it. I did see highlights of it. Like, I did see it on YouTube. I did see, like, the highlights of it and the match that went into a tag match.
Yeah.
Which I think it did translate over into SmackDown also, did it not?
Not with Sting, no.
Not with Sting. No, not with Sting. With New Day, I think.
Oh, New Day? Yeah, they fought... I don't remember what happened on SmackDown, honestly. I'll have to look again. It was there was only like two things that really mattered at all on SmackDown. We'll get to that.
Yeah, but I think I really love that they pushed Sting onto a regular TV show instead of just pay-per-view. I honestly feel horrible that I missed out because from what I heard, that was the best match of the night because it was a very disappointing night with the championships not moving hands at all. Just a lot of the week before pay-per-view, they always like to push, the pay-per-view, so they don't do too much out of the way.
Yeah.
They just like to promote it. So Raw was more of a promotion, but the ending wasn't. It was more of a let's put these guys in a ring, and I feel like I missed out on that.
Yeah, there is one, and yeah, you should have seen that match, but that's all right though. You can always watch it like you said on YouTube or whatever. Hulu, you can go back and watch it there.
Through all those commercials, I think I'm going to pay the $3 just to get rid of those stupid commercials. Jeez, Kurt.
Yeah. But you mentioned New Day. This is one thing we forgot to mention. That at the start of the show, because I think it's because it's been so long since it happened now, it seems.
I know what you're going to say.
But Triple H dancing with New Day, I swear, he is Vince McMahon reincarnated. At this point, he is Vince McMahon. And I know you hate it. I was like, really? It was weird. It felt weird. It was funny. I enjoyed it for that entertainment aspect of it, but it was like, okay, this is where we're going now.
I mean, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when DX was making fun of Vince. Remember that time him and Shawn Michaels came out? He was dressed as Vince. Shawn was dressed as Shane, and they were like,
yeah.
At least they were making fun of somebody. This time it was serious.
This shows you the levels Triple H is going to now.
Gonna end up in bed with Summer Rae at some point.
I don't even know what to think about that. But it had to be mentioned. Come on.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I remember we were talking. Didn't we talk about that a little bit?
We talked about it on the Night of
Champions. Yeah, Barry. I remember the pictures.
Yeah.
The way the picture changed from one angle.
Right, yeah.
Oh, God. We're never firing Barry. I'm sorry. Even though we don't pay him, we're not firing him either.
You can't quit either. No.
You can't quit.
Can't. No. He's not happy.
Oh, well. Maybe if we make a little bit of money, we'll give him a quarter a week.
A quarter a week.
A quarter a week.
That's awful.
We'll give him our Spidey sense.
Yeah, there you go.
But
Of course.
all right. So I missed SmackDown. So you said only 2 big things happened on SmackDown. So what really happened?
And they weren't really even big. The one thing was Sheamus confronting Rollins, and it was another one of those things. Rollins he opened the show, and he was talking about how keep my friends close, my enemies closer, and Sheamus's music hits. He comes out there, and he's like, "So which one am I, fella?" You know, that kind of thing. And they had to tag up for the main event tonight, and you know he reminds them once again that he has the Money in the Bank, and that at any time he can cash that in, and it could be right after his match with Sting. So he'll see him later on tonight. That was really the biggest thing, and that's saying a lot.
That's sad.
That's the biggest thing that happened on SmackDown. There was more with the Dudleys and New Day. There was a whole save the tables kind of thing, and you know, them breaking tables again. Xavier Woods went through a table again, all that stuff. It's the same old thing.
I can't stand that guy so much.
Yeah.
He dressed himself to look like Rufio from the Peter Pan movie.
Yeah. I was wanting a bangarang chant to break out.
Me too. I was hoping nothing.
I was waiting for it. I was like, bangarang, bangarang. That was a missed opportunity, fans. So sorry.
Never get that back again.
Let's see. Cesaro fought Big Show. That was actually a good match. Cesaro did a drop kick on Big Show. I think he might have suplexed him or something. He tried to do the neutralizer on him. So that was a decent match. Roman Reigns and Ambrose were the ones that were going to face Rollins and Sheamus at the end of the night. So that happened. It was, you know, typical tag match, and then I think the Wyatts got involved.
I was just going to say, let me guess, the Wyatt showed up at the end.
Yeah. And the only other thing that was really notable, well, actually, there was the Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler match. That was a pretty good match.
He's good.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens is a really good wrestler. I just wish he didn't go for cheap shots towards the end of his matches to win.
Yeah. But there was some nice moves. He did a fall-away slam into the barrier outside, so that was pretty cool. But you had the whole they built that Summer Rae thing. Wasn't on Raw where he gave her
Raw,
the
where
present?
Ziggler gave her. He was fighting. He was in some type of match.
It was Rusev versus Cesaro, maybe.
Yes, against Cesaro, and he came out, gave Summer Rae a present, which threw off Rusev, which caused him to lose the match, and Summer Rae opened, and it turned out it was earrings.
Yeah, and then on SmackDown, they're backstage, and she's like, that was an expensive peace offering, and he was like, sometimes a rose is just a rose, and then he came back and said, sometimes it's more. So he's kind of leaving it open. Whatever. I'm so tired of this story.
I was hoping it'd be over by the time the pay-per-view is over. I don't think so. I don't think so.
And the only other notable thing was the celebration. It was and I have to mention this because I was stupid.
I'm glad I missed SmackDown.
Yeah, the Bellas were celebrating her breaking the record, and it was supposed to be this big party, and it was like something straight out of a romantic comedy movie. It was Alicia and Brie were trying to set up the celebration and everything, but they kept trying to tell Nikki that nobody was going to show up, and it was just like, it was the worst acting I've ever seen in wrestling in my life. I'm telling you, it was like, woo, it's time to party, and then she gets all mad because nobody shows up, and she's like haphazardly throwing the cake and bottles and stuff, and she throws the cake without looking, and of course it lands on Brie and Fox, and they're just sitting there like, it was just so stupid. It was like the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
But that's your SmackDown.
And now entering the podcast from the left side of my
Kane?
Yeah, Kane can sit down. Mike's here. Mike, actually, you can come in now. Mike actually was with me when Night of Champions was going on.
Hello.
Mike was supposed to also be part of this podcast, and this is the first show he's been on since we started, 4 episodes later. Slacker.
You're slack.
And Mike, actually, I like the way Mike does this. He used to do this when he went over his friend's house. He likes to,
I used to type it.
Yeah, he used to type it, and they used to have bets, not money bets, like they would bet like a potato chip or something on who'd win, and they would have like
potato chip.
They did points, and whoever had the highest points won.
I want a potato chip.
So he wrote down all the matches. He just does this with pay-per-views now, and then he writes like who versus who, and then he crosses out who lost.
Cool, awesome.
So Brant, do we want to discuss the pay-per-view, or since we did do a predictions, do we want to go match by match just to talk about? Because it is a pay-per-view, it is a little bit different.
Yeah, we can go match by match so we can go over our predictions for it.
Okay, so shall we start with the kickoff then?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the kickoff,
Mike has the paper, so we don't need the internet anymore.
Right, so-
I'm Xing everything out. Hold on, boom. Boom. I don't need that anymore. Done. Barry, edit in like this big thing on top of Mike's head. There you go.
it better be.
No crown.
Anyway,
It can be a
for
Divas
the-
crown.
For the kickoff,
For the kickoff.
start off with the match of Stardust and the Ascension versus Neville and the Luchadores. And the winner of that match, as a result, was Stardust and the Ascension. I will say, though, the match was really intense. Like,
We discuss it. We don't talk one by one. We discuss the match.
No, he can say that.
But you can give your
I'm
opinion.
giving
now,
my
yeah.
opinion. So much for cutting me off, Seth Rollins. But still, I really thought the match.
man.
I thought the match was really amazing. Neville and Luchadors, they pulled like all the rabbits out of their hats of all the tricks and everything, but it seemed that just Stardust and the Ascension just got the win because of why are you laughing?
What are you eating, Brant?
Chipotle peanuts.
This week's episode is brought to you by Chipotle
There
Peanuts.
you go.
Alright, so that was the kickoff.
Me and you both predicted this, Brant. We knew that Ascension was going to somehow win because the feud is just getting started. Neville beat Stardust in the last pay-per-view, so this time, of course, Neville was going to have to lose if they were going to really build up something
Yep.
to Stardust and Neville.
Along with good guy versus bad guy, good versus evil.
Right.
Okay, and then we get.
Wait. Stop. I'll tell you when we go next. Brent said nothing yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys said something. I'm sorry.
I was about to.
I'm sorry. Go.
What? No, next match.
No, I'm Brand.
I'm choking on my peanuts. Hold on.
All right, but before he starts, this podcast was brought to you by going to like the Stone Cold podcast.
Okay.
Chipotle peanuts by Planners. Now, Planners, pay us.
Let's Brand talk.
Excuse me. So this was an interesting. No, I'm joking. No, it was a good match. A lot of high flying and stuff, but it went exactly how we thought it would go. That's all.
I don't know. I think it was better. It's good that it was a pre-match because I don't. Thinking of all the matches that happened during Night of Champions, this match definitely would not have stood out with all the other matches that happened.
Right.
So it was good that it was a pre-match.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, the kickoff, whatever.
Okay. Now can I get into the first match?
Next, not
Okay.
the first match.
Now the next one is the Intercontinental Champion Ryback versus Kevin Owens.
And once again, Brent, we knew it. We called it. Ryback pushed too hard, and he ended up losing.
But here's the reason how Kevin Owens won. When he got him up on his back and everything, a rake to the eyes. Really?
Yeah.
You take a cheap shot of a
Opportunistic.
rake to the eyes, and the ref didn't even see it. The ref was just right there with the back turn, and he didn't see his hand go like this. How do you miss that?
Well, that's
Yeah.
what Brent said, that Kevin Owens was going to win through an opportunity or cheating.
True, but again, how in the world are you not able to kick out from a rake in the eyes though? When you think about that, it's like, oh, my eyes are hurting. I can't move the rest of my body now.
Well, not to mention his elbow was in a bit of a...
Yeah, Kevin
trouble,
Owens
too.
really, like, he OD'd on making sure that Ryback's elbow was taken. Like, that was the main focus throughout the whole match.
Yeah,
him
that's
getting
true.
his elbow.
That's very true. You're right. Yeah, no, that was a solid match, though. I love Kevin Owens. I just, like you said, I wish he didn't have to resort to cheating every single match. It's getting old.
Yeah, he is a good wrestler. You
Mhm.
see the moves that he pulls off, and he's really good. I don't understand why WWE feels the need to, okay, he can't win legit, so we have to have him do something to make it look like he cheated to win, because he couldn't win any other way.
Yeah.
Like they say, best for business. Okay. Next one?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. The next one was Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev, the SummerSlam rematch. And the winner of that one was Dolph Ziggler.
Again, we predicted this one right. But the only problem is, wait till you see Raw, and that's all I'm going to say there.
No,
Oh,
it's
no.
just that...
We're not spoiling Raw, because that's for the
No,
next
no. I was just saying the reason how, like, Dolph won was just by a shoe. It hit
Yeah.
Rusev in the chest by a shoe. How do you get knocked out by a shoe and then 1, 2, 3? That was like... First it was the rake through the eyes, and now the shoe.
He was so shocked by the shoe, he couldn't. He was offended, so he's like, he just had to. He went catatonic. That's what.
I'm
It
just
was.
sorry if I'm overreacting. It was just so funny.
Yeah, I know. That shoe was filled with lead. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
I personally thought Summer Rae was going to turn on Rusev because of the earrings, because
Yeah.
they did that little pre-match thing with the earrings. So I was thinking maybe she was going to screw Rusev, and then she was going to go for Dolph, and Dolph was going to be like, no.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
it played out weird. It played out weird, that match. I don't know. I'm glad he won, but still, it was weird.
Wait till you see Raw. You're not going to be so happy. You're going to be like, oh, it's finally over.
Oh, well, let's not spoil it.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I was hoping that this match would put an end to this, because me and Brant are tired of this match.
Yes.
On to the next.
Let's do it.
On to
Do
the
it.
next. The Tag Team Champs, The New Day, which is Kofi Kingston and Biggie Langston versus the Dudley Boys of Bubba Ray and Devon.
Stop. Now, before you give the results, Brant and I did but didn't call this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so the result of that is the Dudley Boys did win, but only by disqualification.
Yeah, we predicted the Dudley Boys were going to lose because somebody was going to come in or somebody was going to cheat.
Yeah.
Technically, they did lose. While winning, they won the match, but they didn't win the titles because titles cannot switch hands during a DQ.
Yeah.
But still,
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I was just saying, still Tag Team Champs, New Day now.
Right.
Yeah, Brant.
Yeah, we thought either Woods was going to cheat and cost them a match, or primetime players were going to get involved somehow. So neither one of those things happened. So we kind of half got that one right, though. Dudleys did not get the titles.
No. The match was short, though, in my opinion. It was a real cut and dry match. You had what's his name pop in at the end, and that was just
Devon.
Woods.
Yeah, screwed Devon off, and then they tried. Then at the end of the match, they were like, save the tables for so many weeks, and then they were going to try to put the Dudleys through a table.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was dumb. Even the announcers, I think, kind of were like, what?
Yeah.
You were just saying save the tables. Now you're going to put them through a table?
Yeah.
Well, Woods got enough wood for the table.
Yeah,
And that's all I'm saying.
Woods
for
definitely
that.
got wood now.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Rufio.
I was waiting for that. I was telling Michael he's dressed like the guy from Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Well, you're the one wearing green. Anyway, next match, let's go. The Divas match of Divas champ Nikki Bella versus Charlotte.
And
Hey,
again,
Lorraine.
Charlotte is the new Divas champ
Yes.
and beat Nikki Bella. That was amazing match.
but that should have happened on Raw, though.
That was a really good match, though. You gotta admit that. And I mean, she worked on the cool thing about that match was Charlotte's the one that does the figure 8, and Nikki worked on her leg the whole match.
Yep.
So it was kind of wild the way that happened. I gotta admit, I hate the Bellas, but I think Nikki actually is a good wrestler.
It was a good match. That's why I was saying the Divas division definitely deserves a bit of a push because these guys know how to, these gals know how to wrestle. And
Yeah.
they really do an amazing job. Ric Flair's daughter is really good. Nikki has good talent. And the other wrestlers have really great talent. I mean, there's a new one that's showing up on NXT soon. There was an advertisement for her during Raw. I forget the Chinese woman. The woman that has the geisha. I don't know her name off the top of my head.
I have no idea.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know her name either.
But I really was happy for Charlotte. I mean, her father, Ric Flair.
He
was-
always cries. That man always cries. I was listening to a podcast that DDP was on. He said, "No, it was Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner. He said no matter what, Ric Flair always cried at the drop of a dime. He was the most sensitive wrestler out there. He would cry no matter what.
It shows he has a heart. I mean, when people cry, it
When
shows
people
that they
make
have a
fun of
heart.
him, he cried too.
Well, I didn't see that part.
Speaking of, did you guys catch, you mentioned Scott Steiner. I had to mention this. Nikki kept doing the push-ups during the match.
Yes, I did.
Did you hear Brie holler out? She said it wrong, but she yelled out, "Big Daddy Pump."
She did?
She
I
did.
didn't hear that.
I gotta go back and watch the YouTube video of it now.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I don't remember where it was, but it was when she was doing the push-ups one time. I heard it, and I was like, did she really just say that?
Was that
Oh
the
my
pay-per-view,
God.
or was it?
Yeah, it was during the pay-per-view, yeah.
I didn't notice that. I gotta go back and watch it again now. I did not notice that. Wow. Good reference right there then.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a great match, though. The ending with the father. See, this happened on Raw, sort of. So it was kind of like, okay, now we're getting the legitimate ending to the match that should have happened on Raw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Next is the Wyatt family versus Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and a mystery partner.
And this is what pissed me off.
And the mystery partner was, I could talk, Y2J Chris Jericho.
And what did I say, Brent? Did I not tell you if they didn't bring in a heavy hitter, they were going to lose?
Yeah.
And what did they do?
Yeah, unfortunately, the
Yeah,
Wyatt family
Yeah.
got to them. Because,
And who did they beat?
Roman Reigns.
No. Who lost? Who was the one that was in the ring that lost?
Oh, Chris Jericho.
Thank you.
And actually, wasn't it the fan that ran in the ring? Wasn't he the
Yeah.
third man?
Yeah, and then I remember they played it off really good too. Roman's like, that's not the guy. That's
Yeah.
not the guy.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, who's this person? I'm like, oh, it's a man. I laughed.
That was hilarious. I know a lot of people were mad about it, but I thought it was funny.
I thought it was hilarious.
Did you guys expect Jericho at all?
No.
He was like the last person. Yeah. Orton or somebody, I don't know who, but not him. That was weird.
That was. I mean, I love Chris Jericho. We've talked about this on the first cast, I think. I love Jericho as a wrestler and as a person, but in this match, he did not belong.
Yeah, it was like they needed somebody to combat the big guy, and they bring in small little Jericho. It's like, okay. It's an odd choice, but all right.
And then he walked out in a huff, too. Did you notice?
Yeah,
the shoulder of his.
Yeah. I don't know what that was about.
I don't know either. He
I
seemed
think it was
pissed off,
because-
though.
I think it was because of the way he lost was ridiculous, and he just, took it out on...
I thought Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, the way they were like huddling around Jericho, I thought they were about to go full on heel and beat the crap out of him.
I was like, no, don't do that, don't do that. Just don't.
But you can't. The Wyatts are the heels.
Yeah, I think I predicted this one wrong. I think I said that they were going to win.
Yeah, you did, but you did say only because you thought that the other guy was coming back.
Yeah, that's true.
So you were half wrong. Let's put it that way. You weren't fully wrong because we didn't know who the full team was.
That's true.
It was a decent match, but once again, Jericho
I thought the night up to this point now, this is the pay-per-view because after this is all Seth Rollins. I thought from this point, and I want everybody's perspective. Brant, you first after me, but I thought so far the matches that didn't involve Rollins were pretty good. The only match that kind of lacked was the one that was the kickoff match, which did have great high-flying action, but didn't belong in a pay-per-view. The rest of the matches were really up to par, great. Nobody cheated except for the Kevin Owens thing. And, of course, we all knew New Day was going to have a DQ.
Yeah.
So they didn't cheat. They just got disqualified and kept the belt. So they screwed the Dudleys. They didn't cheat the Dudleys. I thought that what we saw during this, like the last pay-per-view, I was not, remember we were saying we didn't want to start 1, 2, 3 with that pay-per-view because it was just god-awful, especially with the ending.
Right.
It just killed the pay-per-view. This one, up to this point, I felt was really good. Even though Kevin Owens cheated, again, it was a good match. It was really entertaining. Wouldn't you now, Brent? What did you think of the pay-per-view at this point, right after this match? What were you thinking?
No, I pretty much agree with you. I think all the matches were solid. I was invested. Aside from the Summer Rae storyline, which I hate, but the actual match was good. I liked the action. Yeah, all the action in the ring was really good, I thought. So.
Would you say that predicting, making all the predictions, and we were right up to this point. Even though I feel like we were right all the way through the pay-per-view, the matches were still good. Even though you could predict who could win, I still enjoyed it this time.
Yeah, because, I mean, they changed up how they won and stuff like that. I think the ones that were predictable, they were going to be predictable no matter what. There was no way you could get out of that. There was no way Charlotte wasn't going to win the title.
Right.
Stuff like that. So, yeah, it was a little predictable, but overall, I mean, there's been far worse pay-per-views. You mentioned SummerSlam before it. So.
Right. Exactly.
No, I agree with you.
What about you?
I thought the matches were okay. There was some matches that were really good. I mean, minus the part of cheating your way out of stuff to win or getting disqualified and still keeping the belt. But overall, I mean, it was an amazing performance from the wrestlers up until, we get into the Seth Rollins results. And it was very entertaining.
Michael's very into the heroes, so when the heels would win, he would get so mad. But I remember when we had the Kevin Owens match, I told Michael, the beginning of the match, is that Kevin Owens wins. He's like, no, Ryback's going to beat Kevin Owens. No way, Kevin Owens can't win. He's a jerk. And when Kevin Owens won, Michael's face.
Okay, we don't have to give the whole...
Oh, it's so
thing.
funny, though, because Michael likes to believe only the good guys deserve to win, and I'm explaining to him how Kevin Owens has to win this match. And he's like, no, Ryback's going to win. I'm like, listen, I love Ryback. I love Ryback too, but he's not going to win this match. And
feed me more. That's
I called it.
Okay.
All right, now we've got the Seth Rollins back-to-back matches, which Brent told me on SmackDown, actually. They made that announcement. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, because we figured that one would be early on. We thought the Cena match would be like the second or third match, right?
Yeah. And then the other one would be the end of the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
All right. So now the next two matches are going to be two matches that Seth Rollins is in because he has the U.S. Championship belt and the WWE World
Just do
Heavyweight
both
Championship
so we can
belt.
just discuss the whole thing in general.
All right, so the first one was the U.S. Champ Seth Rollins versus John Cena. And the winner of that match was John...
Barry, put in the thing from the phone call where it goes.
John Cena!
We predicted that, Brandon.
The new
We
US
both
champion.
knew.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get into the last match of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match of Seth Rollins versus Sting.
And we predicted that too.
Yeah. No, Brandon. No. Seth Rollins retained the World Heavyweight Champion belt.
I predicted wrong.
The icon. What?
Yeah.
But, however, though...
Sheamus did attempt. It didn't happen.
Because Kane came out. But the thing that is...
He made sure to have both figures ready. That's what makes me laugh. Both figures ready.
The serious news, getting serious about...
Yeah.
No. We're going to get into that after. No. Shh. That's news. We're getting into news after the pay-per-view.
Let's talk about the matches first. That's cool.
Yeah. Brand, what did you think of both matches? Because I have a huge opinion on it myself.
All right. The John Cena match, I actually thought this match was better than their SummerSlam match.
Yes.
But at the same time, it was another Rollins Cena match. I'm kind of over that. I want to move on from that now. It was obvious that Cena was going to win that title. If he was going to lose one of them, he was going to lose the U.S. title. There's no question.
I thought the way Seth Rollins was wrestling, there were certain moves that were like, holy crap! Like that one where he did the suplex off the turnbuckle, got rolled around, got right back up, and did it again. I think I messaged you on Facebook, even though I know you weren't watching at the time, and I said, my God, he's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just he's not in control a lot of the times, and people could get hurt because of
Yeah, I thought it was awesome when he did the whole thing Cena does, where he rolls through and picks them straight up, and then tosses them up for the AA.
Yeah,
that was pretty awesome. Yeah, I didn't know he had that kind of strength in him either.
I know.
What about when he had John Cena upside down and he used that stomp move?
On the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
Another one.
I mean, Seth Rollins has amazing talent. I love watching his matches when he's not cheating, and he lost legitimately, he didn't try to cheat. He didn't, attempt to cheat even. And he lost because John Cena just got the better of him. This was my favorite match of the night, honestly. I liked the high flying. I liked everything about it. And it just was amazing. I loved it. From beginning to end, that match was good. Then it started to go downhill when he tried to leave the ring and forget the Sting match.
Yeah. I will say, before we talk about that Rollins made Cena look better in that match.
Yeah. All right, you guys just start with Sting. Brent or Mike, you start with Sting. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds.
Go ahead, Mike.
Alright, so Seth Rollins versus Sting, even before the match started, John Cena got Seth Rollins in that the AA move, and then hit his back on the mat, and I was like, it's like saying he's doing that, and then how's Seth Rollins going to pick himself up after his back? I know it's on a mat and not concrete, but
still, yeah.
But still, it's just the thought that he has this match right afterwards. They should have done what they did at WrestleMania 30, where Daniel Bryan fought Triple H, and then at the main event, he waited until he did a triple threat match with Batista and Randy Orton. I thought maybe that would be fair to him, just saying. Because I respect him as a wrestler. He's a great wrestler, and I really thought that he did an amazing job. But with the Sting match, he did an amazing job also. Sting did get him, a couple of times, but during the match was just there was one thing that happened that was I thought Sting was pulling off something, thinking oh, he's just faking about what happened because of that, but apparently it wasn't fake at all from what we heard about the next day.
Yeah.
But with all said and done, that Seth Rollins got him because of that, even though the match was ended 15 minutes earlier than before the pay-per-view was supposed to be officially ended. That's when the whole Sheamus coming out. I knew Sheamus was going to come out.
We predicted that too.
But I didn't think actually Kane would be the one that actually would come out and just...
Dude, I've been gone for 10 minutes. Have you been talking this entire time?
Yeah.
Dear God!
You weren't gone that long.
I was going to say, and now Brand, what do you think?
I think... Alright, first of all, I think Sting at 56 put on a heck of a show. He was pretty good. For his age and everything, he jumped off the turnbuckle to the outside, stuff like that. I thought he did really well. Did better than I was before the crowd even chanted it. I was going "You still got it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so I thought he was really good. He did the counter towards the end twice into the from the pedigree into the Scorpion's F block. Yeah, and all that stuff. All right. Injury aside, which we'll get into after Chris gives his thoughts and everything, but even without that, okay, you guys are, I thought you guys froze on me for a second.
No,
Okay. Even before that, I'm kind of concerned the fact that, Mike, you pointed out that John Cena did the AA to Rollins on the mat before the match started. Mm-hmm. It was almost like saying Sting can't beat him without him being totally decimated beforehand, and then he still wins.
Lost. I know that's exactly what I was saying. Because Sting always fought people that were in, great shape and everything. And I was telling Brand also.
Mom thought it was. Our mom is a huge Sting fan. She loves Sting.
I do too.
And she thought that it was unfair to Rollins. She thought Sting should face him at his best to prove that he could beat him at his best. It insulted me. It's insulting to me as a Sting fan. It's insulting to anybody who's a Sting fan. He had 2 matches only in WWE so far, and both matches he's lost.
Yeah.
Both. Now, I would have been fine if he beat Rollins and then Sheamus came out, cashed in, and beat him, because at least he beat Rollins. He beat him. He got the championship. His name is on the list of champions for WWE, the World Heavyweight Championship. He didn't beat. Not only did he not beat Rollins, not only that, but it's insulting. Rollins was dead on the mat, dead. Cena put him to the end. If this was a video game, his entire body was red. He was done. You could have dropped him on the floor and pinned him.
Right. No, totally. I completely agree with you. I think they have so mishandled Sting, since he came in. It was awesome when he debuted at the Survivor Series. That was totally awesome. And it was awesome the way he went after Triple H. But that match at WrestleMania, it went totally sour. And then even when he appeared in the statue box in the whole Rollins lead up, I thought that was really well done. But when they actually get him in a match, it just falls apart. Yeah, it's because he was the WCW icon, and Vince McMahon can't stand that. He's got to bury him.
What bothered me also during the match was I got very edgy when Seth Rollins did that powerbomb on the turnbuckle to John Cena. John Cena's younger; he could take it. The first time he did it to Sting, I was like, because he's older, and you don't want to see Sting get hurt. Because I know Sting's past, and I know he's gotten hurt in the back a lot in his career with WCW, and it took him out a couple of times. When he went for it the second time, I'm like, please, God, tell me Sting's not going to let him put him into the turnbuckle again. He's going to jump over him, something. And it didn't happen. And he got slammed into the turnbuckle again. You know that he really got hurt because the legit doctor came in the ring to make sure Sting was okay.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, and don't forget that he had gone through the announcer table before that, too.
Right, so it tenderized him even more.
Yeah, so it was weird because he takes the blow and his head snaps back. You can watch it in the replay. And then he comes out of the turnbuckle and I think it was his right leg buckled underneath him. And then he just kind of collapsed. And then Rollins tries to swing him. He ducks the clothesline and just falls down. And you know that wasn't supposed to happen. It was just
absolutely not.
Yeah,
I do give
hard to watch.
Yeah, I do give kudos to Seth Rollins for staying in character. If that was me, I think I would break character just to make sure Sting was okay. But he kept character. He really kept himself as his character in the ring, and I give him props. But at the same time, as much of a great wrestler as he is, it's true. He's great, but he puts his opponents' careers on the line sometimes with some of the crap that he does. And yes, it looks great. Yes, it's amazing. Yes, people will be chanting holy shit on some of his matches. But it's not worth it to risk injuring another wrestler. As great as it looks, scale down a little bit. Seth Rollins is an amazing wrestler. He really puts on an amazing show, but not at the expense of the other wrestlers.
I mean, I get your point there.
Sting, at least. With Sting. Yeah. Not with Cena. With Sting, you got to scale back.
I'm just saying, on the same token, his opponents go in there knowing what they're getting into.
True.
As it concerns those kind of moves. So it's not like it's surprising to them. We all know how wrestling is. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that.
With Sting, I think with Sting you'd fall more onto my category though, because Sting doesn't wrestle on a nightly basis or on a Raw SmackDown basis, so he's a little bit more raw.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think that Seth should have scaled a little. I'm not saying boop, boop, but a little bit less with the power bombs and the slamming into things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The power bomb, that when he put him up on his shoulders, that made me nervous. It was just like, it's one of those things.
Yeah, exactly. So it was what it was, but I don't know, that last match and then Kane coming out, if not for everything that happened before, including the John Cena match, which was really good as far as the match itself, that Kane thing would have ruined the entire night otherwise.
I agree. I completely agree. And I honestly wonder if that's really how it was supposed to go down, or if they called an audible when Sting got hurt.
Yeah, like they did like an emergency, okay, let's pull something out of the hat early that we were supposed to do at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Because you think Kane would return during Hell in the Cell.
Yeah, or on the Raw after this pay-per-view to lead up to Hell in the Cell. Either way.
Oh, he does come back on Raw.
Yeah, I kind of got that spoiled for me.
Oh, you got that spoiled already? Oh.
Yeah.
It would have been better if you would have seen it, though. It was funny.
I made the mistake of going on Facebook the day after Raw. So. Oh, well.
Shame on you.
Yeah, I saw that I saw a picture, and then I quickly clicked away and didn't go back.
So you already saw that. You know what basically happened with Kane.
Yeah, the typical thing that happens with Kane.
Yeah. But all in all, I think the pay-per-view was a lot better than SummerSlam. A whole lot better than SummerSlam.
I agree with that.
And other than that whole Kane ending and Sheamus still having the Money in the Bank, which it's good because, you never know when Sheamus will show up. It still leaves that up in the air until Money in the Bank, which is, I believe, about 4 or 5 months away. So there's still 4 or 5 months worth of pay-per-views, or any time for that matter, for him to try to take advantage of Seth Rollins. And by the way, Brant and I were wrong. It wasn't just one Mr. It was several people that failed at Money in the Bank. A total of 3 people.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Kennedy. I forgot the other one now.
John Cena, Mr. Kennedy, and Damian Sandow.
There you go. Damian Sandow. Yeah. All 3 of them failed at their Money in the Bank opportunities.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, Mr. Kennedy's case was cashed in successfully, just not by him. It was by Edge.
Somebody else took it.
Yeah.
I thank you again, guys. We love hearing your comments. Please comment, whether it be here on Zone4Podcast.com or at some point when we move on to iTunes. There's an email that'll be attached to it then. We love hearing your feedback, and that was awesome feedback. And we appreciate the correction because we don't want to be wrong.
Right.
If you guys know something we don't or we make a mistake, we love to have somebody, correct us, and that's true.
Absolutely. Yeah, so thank you very much. But concerning Sting, since Michael wanted to...
wait, you didn't say what you thought of the whole pay-per-view, neither did Michael yet. What did you think of the whole...
Oh, you want to go there?
Yeah.
I'm pretty much aligned with you. I think if Sting hadn't got hurt and it went a different way, I would have been happier. Mm-hmm. And I would have... And like you said, if Kane came out after all that happened and kind of spoiled that whole thing, that would have really soured me on it. But the way it went down, I think it was a decent pay-per-view. I was entertained for the most part. There were things about the Sting match that kind of disappointed me. That's all.
Hi, Tom. So what did you think of the pay-per-view in whole?
As a whole, I really thought it was interesting. I mean, a lot better than SummerSlam, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And the matches were legit, like, besides that Kevin Owens won. And the loss of Sting, but we all know what happened there. But I really enjoyed it.
Wow, that's cold.
I'm sorry.
That was Brand.
Barry, Photoshop in on Brand's video a picture of Elsa frozen.
Oh shoot! I'm so sorry for that.
that was Elsa cold.
That was Elsa cold. I'm sorry.
You want to talk about the news, Mister?
Yeah. Getting into that, early fears were that Sting broke his neck, and that was all over the place. It was rumors were running rampant that he was seriously hurt. Career-ending hurt. The last thing I saw today was that there were MRI results. He was in the hospital for 24 hours. There were MRI results that said there was not an actual break. There was no fracture. He was injured. He did injure his neck in some way. And he was supposed to appear on Raw, but instead he went on home because he was in bad shape. But thankfully, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. So.
Yeah, so he did get really injured. That second power bomb, I tell you, that second power bomb really. Yeah. I cringed when I saw it. When I saw that second power bomb, I cringed. So. Turns out that our fears were actually legit, and the injury was actually legit.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because at first I was wondering, just like you guys, I thought maybe it was part of the match. Maybe that was supposed to happen. But yeah.
No, but he really was collapsing on his own.
Yeah.
Because his body was giving up. I feel bad because I want Sting to win at least his last match in the world. He has to win.
Yeah. I want him to be world champion in WWE just to, that's that last notch on his belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that he needs. To solidify his career as one of the absolute greatest. Not that he really needs the belt to do that, because he is the icon.
Of course.
But it's fitting. It would be fitting, and it's deserved, well deserved.
Absolutely, 100% agree with you. We're not going to talk about Raw, guys. We know that this is coming out way after the pay-per-view and after Raw. But I thought, I don't know, the pay-per-view, I wish they'd fix Sting. That's the only thing that really just, and we do hope Sting recovers fast and comes back and finishes. Yeah. Well, obviously, if Sting was supposed to appear on Monday, then that means he was supposed to lose.
Maybe, yeah.
So, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm worried. I'm worried for Sting because I don't want to see him go out yet. I want to see at least one more good run. You know, even if it's 6 months, a good run.
Yeah, I want him to go out on top.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And this is definitely not on top.
No.
It could be a lot better. I don't know. I like to see Triple H get kicked off of the boss's seat. That's what I would like to see. And let Vince come back. Everybody wants Vince McMahon to come back.
I wish Shane would come back.
Shane would be good, but Shane doesn't want to be involved in the family business, unfortunately. He never did.
That's sad because he is so good.
I know, right? He's a good wrestler, too. He wrestled a lot of really great matches.
Kurt Angle. Wrestled against Kurt Angle.
I think that, first of all, wrestling needs to go back to a PG-13 format. Second of all, you can't have a wrestler as the boss that was, you know, just a wrestler. When Ric Flair went into being a boss, it was years after his prime. He was still wrestling, but he kind of was coming out slowly. Really slowly.
I don't mind that. I don't mind Triple H being the boss. I just mind the way he's doing it. It's just, it's like I said, it's Vince McMahon reincarnated. It's just
exactly.
He needs to be his own person. Do something completely different if he's going to go that route. If that's the step his career takes now. Mm-hmm. I just don't want to see Vince 2.0 here.
Exactly. I would like to see something a little different.
Yeah.
So, any closing thoughts, gentlemen, before we close out this 1, 2, 3?
Mike?
You talked a lot already.
I guess I'm.
We have to get him into the flow of 1, 2, 3 podcast now. He's just 4 episodes late.
That's all right, though. We're glad to have you.
Oh, yeah, finally.
Thank you.
When you're not talking over us.
And and certain people really like.
I'm going to sit here and drink my coffee.
Yeah, you drink your coffee. Mr. drinks a lot.
Just smack him, Mike.
I want it sometimes. I'm gonna get him one. But anyway, beside the point, that's brotherly love. That's what they call it. So, that's about it. That's all I got.
That's all you got.
That's all I got. The end.
That's it.
Nothing about wrestling. Just brotherly love.
Injury. I hope that he heals up well, and hopefully if he wrestles, he'll win.
He will wrestle again. He is not.
He
not
will
wrestling
win
again.
All right.
All right.
I've got nothing else to say. We said it all, so there you go. We'll be back before you know it with the next episode as we talk about Raw that everybody wants us to talk about now, and SmackDown, I guess.
SmackDown.
We got it. You know what? I'm about ready to say, forget SmackDown.
We're just gonna talk about Raw and NXT.
And NXT, exactly.
Yeah.
Replace SmackDown with NXT, or just combine Raw and SmackDown and talk about NXT.
We don't watch NXT either, but we need to.
Want to start. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's on the WWE Network.
There's so many good things on it. You know, it's funny. I knew Samoa Joe wasn't going to be. This is a total aside, but I knew Samoa Joe wasn't going to be Ambrose and Reigns' partner because I watched the kickoff.
And the kickoff spoiler is like, maybe it's Samoa Joe. I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
it's like,
basically
man,
said you just basically said he's not going to be there then.
Exactly. That would have been awesome. That would have made this an epic pay-per-view.
That would have made them win.
Yeah. Absolutely. Maybe that's Hell in a Cell.
Fingers crossed. Samoa Joe's an excellent wrestler.
I want to see that guy from the Wyatt go after Brock Lesnar and see how tough he is against him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you keep dreaming. Brock Lesnar's got one mind, and you called that too, Brett. You said it wasn't going to be this one. It was going to be Hell in the Cell. And the commercial happened that night.
Yeah, I know.
The tour, the Hell Tour, right.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, I knew it. Hell in a Cell match. Taker and Brock. Part 2.
And by the way, guys, there is one other thing. This is the new format to how we're going to be doing podcasts on the channels, on the YouTube channels, whether it be my channel or Zone 4 and Zone 4 Podcast YouTube channel. We hope you like that. This is why we went out and I went crazy. I asked Brant to go crazy looking for a video program. So this way, you guys don't look at just pictures and hear audio. You actually have something to look at, and we can show things and do things, and you can see our facial reactions to certain things and how we feel.
Unless, of course, you're listening to this on iTunes, then thank you for listening to the audio.
Oh, no, I've got something for iTunes. Wait.
Okay.
So we did this for you guys on YouTube because I know I've seen so many podcasts do this, that they have the audio format, which is for iTunes, which on iTunes, this is why you're listening to it on iTunes, because you want to hear the audio, the radio format.
Yeah.
And that's the main reason why when we started 123 Podcast, or any podcast that we started, it was strictly audio, because we care about that. And as time moves forward and as things build up, maybe there'll be something special for YouTube and something special for iTunes. So if you're listening to this on iTunes, you'll have something special that's strictly for iTunes. And if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a specific video section for YouTube. So you have a reason to check them out on both sites. Sorry, I hit you. See, that's just speciality right here.
That's that brotherly love we were talking about.
Yeah. And then on iTunes, maybe there's a special section where Michael will actually not talk over all of us and have his own little...
I was not talking over you.
Yeah,
You know,
Michael gets he is the biggest wrestling fan. He stuck with WWE when I walked away. So he's been with it. Brand's been like, come on, Chris, you got to get it. Get into it, God. I want to do a podcast. I need somebody. I was like, fine, I'll watch. And it
we
got
were
good.
the influence.
No, you had no influence on me
Oh, I had
whatsoever.
influence on that. I'll
We
tell
turned him to the dark side.
Exactly. So I went back to wrestling. So we are working on special things right now, though, and I'm writing a post, and it's going to be in the update video. Scheduling and time. Right now, we need to get those two things, put them together, mash them nice and comfy, get a nice schedule. And once we get a good schedule down, especially me and Brant, we have the Chris and Brant show, we have this. The morning stream's got to start at some point. We're going to work on that. Once we get a good schedule down, that's when we could talk about extras and talk about iTunes. Because right now, 123 Podcast is strictly YouTube and Zone4Podcast.com. But there is talk for iTunes, so don't think for 1 second we aren't thinking about iTunes. We aren't thinking about the Chris and Brant show going on iTunes or the morning stream going on iTunes. We are thinking about it, but right now it's all about, building it up, really getting a good swing with the shows, with everything, scheduling, and then doing other stuff like that. So I just have no words for Brant right now. So we do have lots of things. We're building it up slowly. The main thing is patience and build up. If you like what you're seeing here, please share it with your friends. Get them to come watch, get them to comment, get them to talk about the show with their friends. As this builds up, we're going to see more and more that you guys want more, and that's when we're going to start giving you guys more. We're here for you. That's why we do this. That's why we have the video now. We are doing all of this stuff because we love you guys. We love talking about the stuff we love with you guys. Apparently, Brant loves a lot more than me because he's trying to get me to do like 50,000 other things. You got to do this, 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 and this. You got to watch this show. You got to watch wrestling. We got the video games. We got the toys. Everything.
Yeah. See that shirt your brother's wearing? That show's next.
Don't worry, I've already got that planned out. And then there's the Daredevil one, which I got to finish. Cause
Yeah.
We're going way off track. Stop.
Yeah.
We're doing this for you. Stop. Please let us know in the comments below, which was the original thing, what you guys think of the new video format. We hope you like it. Shut your
That was a long way to get to that point.
I know, it was hard. Well, I went into a little bit of a thing. So
there's a road, and there is the point to that road where it will lead you to the light. Follow that one.
Chris took us 4 hours in the other direction and circled back around the long way.
Light to success.
he wants me to die.
No,
he wants me to go into the light.
I didn't say it as that. I
wants
said
me to go
there's a... Stop with the sting. You're Ben Kane. Stop it. It's a light of success is what I meant. You're making it sound like I'm just, no.
All right, so if you enjoyed what
Only peanuts.
Brought to you by Chipotle Peanuts.
Yes.
That's right. If you enjoyed what you saw here, there's a lot more really great podcasts over on Zone4Podcast.com. You got Zone 4, you got Hit Points, you got Brant dropping a peanut, you got and I just lost it all. So you got Zone 4 and all the other awesome podcasts like Airship. Brant, you're doing it. Go ahead. You do the editing. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Microphone drop.
No.
I'm done. Go ahead. You talk about it.
Like
Done.
CM Punk.
I'm done.
Wait, watch this CM Punk, pipe bomb.
I
Done.
think Chris is tapping out this week.
God, that Summer Rae is so ugly.
Ring the bell.
Ding, ding, ding.
Leave a comment below. Zone4@comicrelated.com if you want to email. Join us next week for the next episode of 123 Podcast.
Zone4Podcast.com,
Yes.
Frontline.com, links below to everything connected.
75th episode this week. Tune in. Frontline.
Yes! And links below to connected to this channel, Dark Avenger C86. Lots of things coming your guys' way soon. So with that, we hope you enjoyed. And remember, he's still got it. Good night, everybody, or good day, or whenever you're watching this.
Goodbye.
You still got it.
Yes, he does.
Bye, guys.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production. Honk!